Hey, this is Terrified again, and I've got a corner shop model kit. This is part 2 of my corner shop model kits video. These are dinosaurs, and this was like a 2-for-1 deal. So they were both on the same like £1.50 blister pack. How do I describe these? They're plastic, they're supposed to glow in the dark. As you'll see in a further clip, they don't really glow in the dark as well as they should. They were a bit frustrating to put together, but I've paid more money for a gallon of milk. And the most I'll pay for a gallon of milk is like $2.50, so that's where we're at with those. So I built this triceratops, and his head was massive. You know, he's got the big frill and the horns, and it's his spine, and his head, and his front legs. And it looks like I'm trying to get the piece for like the back legs for his pelvis and his hind legs so he can actually stand up. And there were also with these dinosaurs like 1,000 ribs. Like, holy crap, they had a lot of ribs. And since a lot of it doesn't fit together properly, the packaging suggests that you use glue. I did not glue them while I was assembling them, and that's because I filmed these videos at a desk in my bedroom, and I don't like to have airplane glue open in the room that I sleep in. There's a lot of fumes. I got asthma, and I've got chemical sensitivities, and it just seems like, you know, that would be bad news. It seems like a way for me to end up waking up miserable the next morning. So I did ultimately take both the dinosaurs. This one, the Triceratops, fell apart, so I had to put him on a plate, like all his little pieces, and take them into the dining room and open all the windows and glue them in there at our dining room table, which is actually more of a work table. And I don't know, like, it was really nice to have like these little models and go out for a walk and also go to decon as a distraction, because I had a really hard time getting into the UK this time. Like, I normally fly through Dublin Airport, and this time I did it because Aer Lingus operates an 8 p.m. flight out of O'Hare, and I was like, oh, cool. So I can take this flight at 8 and not miss an entire day of work due to traveling and burn like one of my 5 vacation days that I get. So that's what I did. And I got stopped at immigration. They were like, you know, why have you got so many stamps through Dublin Airport? Why haven't you got any stamps going back into the UK? The thing is, or not into the UK, but back into America. The thing is, United States of America does not stamp the passports of citizens when they return to the US from overseas. So in future, like, when I do this trip, which is probably not going to be for a while, simply because it's, like, very expensive to do this, and, you know, I've got to probably pay for surgery for my cat in future, you know, crazy stuff like that, but I'm gonna have to have, like, all my travel records printed out. They did eventually let me go, but that was after I logged into my computer and logged into my bank and showed them my frickin' bank statement. So I'm also going to print out my bank statement and probably get a letter from HR at work saying that I actually work where I say I do. You know, so they don't think that I'm a risk to stay in the UK. Or, you know, whatever. I don't know. The immigration thing has been, like, such an issue. It's been an issue in the US as well. And, like, I get that they're dealing with a lot of illegal immigrants, but maybe if the legal channels were a bit easier to go through, you wouldn't have such a problem. And I think this is a much more complex problem than a lot of people are willing to acknowledge. They like to say, oh, but they're taking our jobs. But they're either taking the jobs that no one wants to do, like picking fruit in the fields or cleaning hotel rooms, or they're taking the jobs that no one can do, like apparently accountancy, which is like, for some reason, the UK keeps having a huge staff shortage of this, or nursing, or teaching. You know? And that salary quota for emigrating to the UK as a skilled worker has jumped 50%, like, just within 1 year recently. So, you know, it's a cluster. I don't want to get too into it, because I will get very passionate about it. You know, I've obviously, like, I've been with the same guy for 5 years, and I never get to see him because of the immigration issue. And it sucks. But I'll cry if I talk about it too much. So I'm going to show you, this is now the ankylosaurus. And ankylosaurus, like, piece number 1 with ankylosaurus, and these came with numbered diagrams. Hi, Boo. So they came with numbered diagrams to show you, like, where everything is at. Piece number 1 was like a little notched square that you plug the tail into and then plug the spine into, and his hind legs as well. So that was pretty cool. Check me out in my pajamas. Oh man, that was Saturday morning. And I don't know, I think ankylosaurus are pretty cool. They remind me of the Dodongos from the Nintendo 64 Zelda games. Like, you guys know what I'm talking about. And because ankylosaurus has got a big spiky ball at the end of his tail. And the Dodongos, they didn't have a spiky ball at the end of their tail, but if you got caught by one of those and they spun around, they could, and if you had only like 3 hearts left, you were just done, because they'd spin around and they'd just smack you with their tail. In the new one as well, in Breath of the Wild, they've got, I forget if they're Lizalfos or Dinalfos, but they do the same thing, where they spin around, they'll get you with their tail, they don't care. So that's what I've been doing a lot instead of, like, YouTube, is I've just been, like, grinding away in Breath of the Wild, trying to get 100%. Like, some dude who was actually trying to pick me up, like, said I was savage when I told him I was trying to get 100%, but, you know, whatever. So here's me, like, doing all the rib pieces again after I've assembled. Like, it was easier to get all of his legs and stuff in order and get him standing up. The same with the triceratops, to get them standing up and get all their legs in order before you attempt to put all the ribs in. And I did not know dinosaurs had this many ribs, and that the ribs went this far down their bodies. In fact, I'm almost certain that's not how dinosaur bodies actually work. Next time I go to the museum, which I hope is going to be soon, I'll check it out for real and see, like, what an actual dinosaur's ribs look like and where they go and just how many of those things there are. So we've got Neo at Field Museum, and I guess they've had him set up for a year, Maximo, and he's supposed to be, like, the biggest dinosaur. And I've still not seen him. I've been a member to the museum for years, but I've been, you know, working so much that when I do get time at the weekend, I just want to, like, lay around the house and clean. I do that a lot since I've got the new apartment, but I haven't been to go see, like, this cool new dinosaur. Also, Sue the T-Rex is in her own special little enclave. Not an enclave. She's in a room, surrounded by all her favorite snacks. Because the other dinosaurs are, like, just in the next room, so. I remember going for members night and seeing that her spot was empty and thinking, this was, like, last year, and thinking that someone should do a well-being check on Ben Stiller to make sure that he's okay. Because remember when at night in the museum, they just had the T-Rex just chasing him. But it's cool. I'm sure he's fine. I mean, they caught it. They caught the T-Rex. So, it's fine. Oh, look. Look who it is again. So, just finishing up here. I'm putting more of his ribs. I swear there are not this many ribs on a dinosaur. That seems like an unusual. I don't know though. I'm not a paleontologist. I was obsessed with dinosaurs when I was a kid, and I still kind of like them a lot. Like to the point where I've got a dinosaur on my desk at work, like just a little plastic one. But I'm no expert. Don't ask me about dinosaurs. Ask me about Microsoft Excel. That's something that I know about. Ask me about taking care of cats. Don't ask me about dinosaurs. I just like to build them. So, gonna be all finished soon. There were a lot of big pieces, a lot of little pieces, so many pieces. I still keep finding little bits of like the glow-in-the-dark plastic screw on my desk. It's like a month later. Let's let them stomp around. And that's what they look like when they're finished, fully assembled and glued. And that's what they look like with that weak glow after being charged in a lamp for hours. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!